Hey, Ryan here, coming to you from the farmstead. We got another tool on the farm that's kind of wearing out, and it's a trusty tool. So I bought one of these DeWalt 20V XR angle grinders, the 4.5 inch one, battery operated. I'm kind of interested in trying it out and seeing what it can do. It does pretty good RPMs, pretty good battery life here based on the settings that I can see. Pretty, comparable to my old trusty one here. So this is what I've had before, 10,000 RPM, 1.5 horse, professional Black & Decker, given to me from my bride's grandfather. Trusty tool, it's worked great. But the brushes and the motor are starting to go, and the cord's not holding up the best. So I'm just kind of disappointed. I miss this metal-handled heavy beast, I'm sure, when it eventually dies. It's not quite dead yet. I probably can get some more time out of it. I like how it had the top screw arm handle in, and it could do right and left, and just a big old heavy tank of a wheel for an angle grinder. It really has held up well. I've ground a lot of metal down for welding with this thing. I've cut off a lot of nuts and bolts. But it's starting to wear out, so it's time to invest and move on. And I'm hoping this new DeWalt here, this brushless one, will work pretty good. A couple things off the bat: it has the right and left handle on it. It's got a plastic button underneath it, which is a little different than my other one. It had a nice metal button, and I'll have to get used to the fact that it's got this little safety flip on it to squeeze the lever. I'm not used to that. The other one, I just squeeze it and go. It's certainly longer of a tool, and it's got a nicer handle in that regard because it's nice and long and big and easy to grip compared to my other one. But I don't know what to think about the length. It's quite a bit lighter than my old beast. My old beast was very heavy, just a tank of a machine, if you know what I mean. As far as length here, I'll see if I can line them up top to top with their cutting wheels on here. You can see that by the time I put the battery on. See if I can go over here and grab one. Yeah, this one's got plenty of power. You can see by the time I grab this and put one of the batteries on, I think this is a 5 amp battery. It gets quite a bit longer. This is the DCG413 from model number, in case you guys are wondering. I got it because it had good reviews and it's brushless, so hopefully it would last longer. It looks like it's 3-4 inches longer than my old one here. I'm real excited to kind of get it going. I've got some nails to cut out of a 2x4 that I want to save, so I'm going to take it to that first. Yeah, you can hear it here. It's loud. I guess that's just the best way I'd put it. Let me see if I can plug in the old beast. Now the old beast is loud too. And again, I bought this farm in 2005 and had it since this beast since then. So this one's really done its job, if you know what I mean. Kind of wish they still made them like this, metal, trigger on it and big hard cased body and stuff like that. I did look. Milwaukee did still make a corded one that looked nice, and DeWalt did too. But I thought as long as I got the batteries ready for everything else, I might as well just get a batteried one of this and try to get used to it and see what I think of it. I guess right off the top of my head, I gotta take down some nails here with it. Right off the top of my head, I don't like the length. That's kind of a downside for me. It's a lot longer tool. Not that that's bad, but it's what it is. As far as its cutting ability, its spin, and its speed, it's supposed to be a little bit slower than my corded one. Boy, it seems to really cut nice and fast, so I didn't notice much difference with it at all. Take my old beater here, and I'll rip a nail off with that too, just so you can kind of see the difference. One thing I realized right away when trying to cut off some nails here and do some work is, and I mean this in a nice way, is the ability to get right up to the nail nicely and visual. The heads that are on these are 4.5-inch cutting heads. They're a master built, which is kind of like a just generic 4.5 head. And you can see that I practically touched the nail with the top of the grinder here, the angle grinder, and that's on a fairly new cutting head. And on the other side, when I was running the other one, the DeWalt, I get a little bit more visual. And gosh, I think I'm going to like that. As far as also putting on the 4.5-inch disc, they both use a key turn style. But the button on the top of my old Black & Decker here, commercial one, is pretty small, so it makes it a little harder. Versus this one's got a nice press down button to lock the head, to take the thing off. See, about a finger width there. I've almost got 2 finger width on this one that I can see. And again, these are very similar cutting heads, and they're in good shape. So that's nice. The way the DeWalt brushless has its head kind of tapered back and set back, you really get to see nice. Sure don't like that little trigger thing, but again, I can get used to it. It cuts fast. It cuts deep, just like the old Beastie one I had. And of course, it's hot, so you got to be careful. The metal gets kind of hot, but it cuts off nice. And my old Beast takes them down good too. I'll switch hands here. Do it with my right hand. I think overall I'm pretty impressed with it. I like its lightness. I dislike its length. I sure like the visual ability to see a little better as far as what I'm cutting. I think it cut quite comparably to my Black & Decker, which is corded. I think it's obviously a little bit dependent upon the battery you stick on the back of this thing. If you stick one of those little tiny DeWalt black batteries, it's probably not going to cut real long. Took a nice, lithium XR 5 amp or 4 amp battery. It's going to cut for a while. And of course, if you put one of their big lithium ones on or their big 6 amp hour ones, I think it's going to cut for quite a while. It's kind of nice. It stands up. It certainly stores a little nicer that way. And again, you don't have to dink with the cord. I'm not letting go of my corded one yet. I'm going to use it till I wear it out. But gosh, I'm kind of impressed with this thing. I said minus the length. Seems to work really good. I think it'll be a nice addition to the tools here on the farm. Thanks for watching, folks. Please like and subscribe, and we'll keep putting out great videos like this.